Welcome back, friends. If you are watching part 2 of this crochet case video, you should have 10 rows finished by now. So the first 4 rows were single crochets, and then we just did 6 rows of double crochet. So altogether we should have 10 rows, and we should still have 18 stitches. So if you want to double check your work, count 18 stitches across. Also, just a side note, this is how you count double crochets. It's a little bit easier to see than single crochets because they really look like stripes. My cat's about to come into the video. Hi, Betty. So this is a row here. Then right above it, that's another row, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The striping of double crochet is a lot more obvious, a lot more prevalent. Okay, so for row 11 through 15, we're going to do half double crochets. So that's only, is that 5, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 5 rows of half double crochet. And the half double crochet also starts with a chain 2, and then turn your work from right to left. And just a reminder of half double crochets. Well, first you're inserting into the very first stitch, so right below your chain 2. Half double crochet starts with a yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through the stitch, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on our hook. And if you have to do a wiggle, or you have to use your pincher fingers to get that hook through, whatever you need to do. Let's do another one. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3. Half double, bye buddy. Half double crochet is my favorite stitch because it's not too lacy like the double crochets. There are really large spaces between those bars. Half double crochet is looser than single, but not as lacy as double crochet. Excuse me. So let's finish this row. This is row 11. And then I'll show you how to start the next row. It's the same as half double crochets, but let's at least finish this row together. And then I'm going to skip ahead in the video to the end of my 15 rows. So you'll want to pause at that point and get caught up. I have 2 more stitches to do. All right, just in time, ran out of yarn. Get me some more yarn here. Okay, so at the end of the row of half double crochets, of course, I'm going to chain 2 and then turn my work from right to left. So now I'm working on the other side. And let's just keep moving along. Make sure you're inserting your hook right below that V. It's still tempting to go into the larger space between the bars, but that is not where your hook wants to go. It's going in between. It actually kind of looks like there's another V here, right? V's kind of laying on their side. So your hook's going into that smaller space at the top. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through 3. Yarn over, pull through 3. Okay, I'm going to, well, we're all going to keep going, to keep moving along, finish 4 more rows. So this is 12, 13, 14, 15. And then I will meet you at the end of row 15. So pause the video if you need to, and I will see you on the other side. Okay, one last stitch. Okay, so I'm done my half double crochet rows, and we should all have 15 rows completed. So we should have 4 single crochets, 6 double crochets, and then 5 half double crochets. So this last row is going to be all slip stitches, including some chains to make a little loop for our buttonhole. Now slip stitches are really, really tight stitches, but it's a nice finishing stitch. It'll make a nice finished edge for our work. So slip stitch rows start with a chain 1, and we're going to turn our work like we usually do. And we're going to insert our hook into that first stitch right below our chain 1. Insert your hook, and you're going to yarn over and pull through that stitch. And then you're also going to pull through the loop that's on your hook. So in a slip stitch, there's only 1 yarn over total. And you have to really use your pincher fingers to get through that second hook after you pull through the stitch. So let's do another one together. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through the stitch, and then yarn over, pull through that loop. So you just keep pulling that first yarn over through everything. And I really use my pincher fingers here. I'm pinching kind of in the middle, in between my yarn over and the loop that's on my hook, so that I can catch the yarn over with my hook, but then get that yarn over through the loop. It's a tricky stitch. It requires some finesse. So, oh, I didn't say it, but we're going to do 9 slip stitches across to the middle of our work. And I've lost count because I was talking, obviously. So let's count how many I've done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 more. And then we'll be just about at the middle of our work because we have 18 stitches. So half of that is 9. All right, so here are our 9 slip stitches. Now we're going to chain 6. If you're using a bigger button than me, you might want to chain 8. If you're using a smaller button, you might only want to chain 5. With bulky yarn, I wouldn't chain anything less than 5 though. That's my only advice. So right here in the middle of our project, let's chain 9, or chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, with those chains still on our hook, we're going to insert our hook into the next stitch. So here's where we just worked. That's our 9th stitch. Now we're going to move to the left. This is the 10th stitch. So insert your hook into the 10th stitch, the next stitch, and do a slip stitch. And you really got to use those pinchers to help you out. So that loop, those chains, well, I should say, those chains created a loop at the end of our project. So let's finish this row. Just slip stitch all the way across. You should have 8 more stitches to slip stitch. 2, total of 9. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1 more, 9. Okay. So from here, I like to just pull a larger loop before I take my hook out. From here, we have kind of a rectangle. It's not a perfect square. And we should have our slip knot at the bottom right corner and our active yarn at the top left corner. From here, let's cut our yarn. But we're going to use this yarn to sew down one side of our project to construct it. So cut yourself 15 to 20 inches of yarn. If you want to measure it, feel free. I'm just going to eyeball it. So snip your yarn there. And then we're going to pull the yarn, pull this active loop so that the yarn gets pulled through the last loop. And now you have pretty much self-contained crochet. This loop, unless you really start pulling on, I shouldn't say loop, this yarn, this tail, really won't come undone unless you're pulling it through. Now, of course, if you weren't sewing this together into a case, you would want to weave in both of these ends. But because we're going to turn it into a case, we're going to use these tails to sew it together. So that's the end of part 2 of this video. Part 3 will be the actual construction of the crochet case. So I'll see you in part 3.